Good evening and welcome to the CN class. My name is Roseanne and I'll be your guide today. For this practice, if you'd like to have pillows handy, if you have a bolster, great. If not, a blanket, you can turn it into a bolster if you have a nice thick one like I do here. If you unfold it to its, unfold it as a sheet and then fold it in half long ways and then fold it again and again long ways, you can end up with a long strip like so, and then take that strip and fold it in half, and you can end up with a nice bolster for underneath the spine and or the hips. A blanket for warmth can also be nice, so more than one blanket. And since it's winter, we'll begin today with the caterpillar archetype. So half butterfly or any variation of your choice. Extend that right leg up to the side or out long. Other foot to the inseam. You might turn toward that long leg and pour your body over some bolsters, some pillows to support you. Just make sure there's no pressure on the knee here. And also if you're a hyperextender, you can have a thin blanket or your mat rolled up underneath the back of the knee. And we'll stay here for several minutes. And if this just isn't for you to be seated, you could be on your back instead, engaged in a hamstring lengthener this way. So find your position. And allow the body to soften. The foot of the extended leg to soften. Support your head with stacked fists. And breathe into the back of the heart. Meridian line the bladder. Great to work with in winter. The water element. And silence, feel the flow within. Subtle movement with the breath and the energy around the body. Nothing's ever really still, not completely. Mind wanders, return to the breath. The sensations right here. Inhale. And exhale, half. Begin to unfurl the spine if you were lowered, if you're rounded. And pause at the top. We'll stay on this right side for a time. So let's take those cushions up to the side, deer pose next, or a variation of deer. Take that right leg and bend it. Perhaps the shin is parallel to the knee, maybe not, maybe the shin is further in. Decide where you want that back leg, whether it be again out to parallel or tucked. And find your seat here. You might even stay tall or take those bolsters and put them out in front of you or on the belly and come forward. Maybe turn your head to one side. And some of you might prefer sleeping swan with the back leg extended. However, be gentle with yourself. You can find sensation here. However subtle. Perhaps stay. Lower, notice the compression on the belly. And breathe into that region. Sense the right outer leg. And sheets and layers of connective tissue. As they start to uncoil, allow new hydration to enter, to revitalize. Where can you soften? Inhale and exhale. Bring the head back to neutral. And if lowered, press up onto those hands. And rise through the torso. And again, we pause, perhaps with the hands behind the body, fingertips toward us. You might just stay right here on the hands, or you might bring the bolsters, pillows, whatever you've got. I'm going to choose this long bolster here today. Behind the spine, that you might be able to lean back. It might be too much for some of us. I need to adjust the legs a little. Have more of a ramp built here. Where it's higher near your head and lower near the base of your spine. Reclined here. If it doesn't serve to have a ramp behind you. It also just be on the spine and allow the legs to drape one way with them nice and wide. Sense the earth beneath you and those pillows or bolsters behind your spine. And feel the stretch sensation through that left inner thigh, most likely. And perhaps across the chest. And heavy the shoulders toward the mat. It's the sheaths, the layers in the inner thigh. Let them melt and liquefy. So that in time, once we do come out of this, the tissue's going to rebound. More pliable, supple, and healthy. More inhale here. Exhale, fully. And on the emptiness, if you're down, bring those forearms back to the earth to begin to press up. And try not to rotate through the torso. As you find your way onto the hands, not already there. Maybe for a moment, let the traps cradle the head. Inhale. And soften the jaw, maybe stick the tongue out. Bleh. And come tall with the spine. Maybe nod the head. Look over your right shoulder, maybe rotate toward the right. And then take your hands to frame your hips and allow the legs to drape to the left. Sit up nice and tall. And then windshield washer the legs side to side. And plant the feet just for a moment. Adjust the hips so you can widen the legs to a dragonfly. Arms reach up. And pour forward to any degree. Could also be keep a long spine. Press into the hands. This will be your first short time. We'll return to this pose later. And soften the feet. Around 3 to 5 breaths. And see with the legs, kidney meridian. Around 2 more breaths. Inhale as you lengthen the arms. And exhale to roll up through the spine. And this time, the left leg will go long, the right sole of foot to the inseam, the other leg. Half butterfly, unless you prefer to come onto your back for that hamstring lengthening. Find your sits bones, find your supports. Perhaps you stay tall, perhaps you round. And again, it could be anywhere in between. Notice as you adjust your position for the first minute or so before you find stillness. If you prefer to round and feel perhaps more of a stretch through the back, or stay tall, and maybe it'll be more focused on the hamstrings for most of us. How far can you stretch your awareness of the back line? And sense that's not just in the back, or the back of the leg, but all the way into the heel, and up through the calf, the belly of the hamstring, the back of the glute, left glute, in through the lower back, your back, upper back, into the neck, the back of the skull, the crown, the forehead, and even maybe the inside of the eye, your eyebrow, reaching. A whole line of fascia, a meridian line, energetic line in Chinese medicine. Widen the breath, side out, and begin to rise. And pause at the top. So any shifts in your experience? Or you remove any props you might have so that you can take that left leg and bend it. To stag the legs. Again, this is up to you where you'd like that shin. Where you'd like your pillows. Whether you stay tall or soften. And if it's not enough, find your sleeping swan. No reason why all our bodies need to look the same. We don't have the same bone structure, same histories for our bodies. And bring awareness the outside of that left leg and into the glute. And you feel this all the way into the side of the foot. Sense the compression on the left side of the belly, the spleen side. And breathe into it. Few more breaths here. One more inhale. And exhale fully. Bring yourself upright once more. Take your time. And find stillness for a moment. Or perhaps you nod the chin. Feel the head And rotate toward the left. Maybe move the head side to side. Pause that. Move your bolsters if needed so the hands can come behind or beside the hips. And here you can start to lean back. And again, this might be where you stop. If you sense sensation in through or under the right inner thigh, right inseam of the leg, maybe this is enough for you. And allow the shoulders to come toward the ears to cradle the head, the traps cradle the head. Or again, bolsters behind you, smaller pillows to bigger. Or there could be a block, low height, block higher height to make a ramp. I know most people don't have that kind of equipment. Or if you're very open in the hips, in the chest, maybe you lean back. And you could be on your spine with your legs off to one side. The front line extend. Inseam of the leg unwind. Where's the mind now? One more inhale here. And exhale. After an exhale, again, come onto the forearms if lowered. And then onto the hands. Find a moment of pause. And take those hands on either side of the hips. Allow the legs to low to the right. And then plant both feet. And again, widen the legs into a V. Ground through the pelvis. Grab whatever props you need. Come forward to any degree as you soften the feet, as long as there's no hyperextension in the knees, pardon me. Stay here longer. Most poses, it's been around 3 minutes. Here it'll be around 5. Being winter, can be meridian line is often another focus besides the bladder. It's the complement, yang, bladder, yin, kidney, the active and the passive. Notice where you sense this most. And where you sense the edge of that sensation, of that stretch sensation. It's almost no longer detectable. It may even change the experience. You realize, wait, sensation doesn't end there. The shifts don't end there. Things happening beyond my awareness. So I can allow it to expand. And broaden my perspective. As this pose changed since you first entered it. Inhale. Exhale. Hot. Again. Inhale. Release the breath through the mouth. Cool the body. And start to roll up through the spine if lowered. Sense your legs as you move those bolsters and maybe creep one leg in a little and then the other. It's natural to feel achy as long as there's no sharp shooting. Perhaps hands behind you, just to support the body as you wiggle the toes. And then one more forward fold. If it's free, you could always have more of a rich knee bend as well. To caterpillar, full caterpillar. Bladder, meridian. Already worked on this line, but just a little release here. And roll up through the spine. The last pose today, supported bridge. Have your bolsters nearby as you come onto your back. You might take pillows like so underneath the sacrum, one or two, whatever you need. You might want it lower if you have any issues in the sacrum, maybe even no pillow at all. You could be here with the knees bent. Choose this long one here. We'll put underneath my pelvis. But nice and low today. That way, one leg could be extended, or maybe even both legs could be extended. Do you choose one leg or both legs? And I'll let you know when to switch. If doing one leg, you'll hear me cue that partway through. The higher the bolsters, the more of a stretch of the front line. It's quite low like mine, it will be very subtle. With the hips, if they're higher than the heart, it's an inversion still taking place here. If on one side, change sides, then the opposite knee, lengthen the other leg. Few more breaths. And then if the legs or leg is extended, plant the feet. Since we have this bolster underneath the pelvis, you might choose for your, instead of Savasana or as your Savasana, to bring your legs up, or you could always go to a wall. Or you might take that bolster or pillows underneath. Hamstrings. Maybe rock the legs side to side to massage them. And you might cover yourself with another blanket. Even just your torso if your legs are up. You take a few minutes here. Winter can be a great time to turn inward. Maybe have a more silent Savasana. Inhale. Longer exhale. Inhale through the nose. Exhale at the mouth. Your legs are elevated. Perhaps bring one foot down and then the other. Take a long body stretch. Or whatever serves. Remove any props you might have that you can roll onto your favorite side. And in your own time, press yourself up to seated. Maybe even on that long blanket or bolster. And take your head to the left. Maybe take that same hand over to the opposite side of the head. And the head presses into the hand a little as you drop the chin toward that left shoulder. Change sides. Chin tuck slightly toward that right shoulder, toward the clavicle. Maybe that hand comes to the opposite side of the head. Press the head into the hand. Bring the head back to center, fingertips on the earth. And then bring it to neutral, roll the shoulders. Perhaps open the chest. And then sweep those arms overhead. And bring the hands to heart center. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Thank you for practicing with me today. Satnam.